another one of my live stream lectures. And before we get into today's lecture, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel, and also happy Mother's Day. I hope everyone is enjoying their day, enjoying their time. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is the focus of this lecture is Rural Travel Adapter, aka Travel Abroad Preparation. If the viewers are aware, anyone who's been following my channel, I have had the opportunity to take a phenomenal couple of guided tours. December 2023, I did a guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. November 2024, I did a phenomenal guided tour to Rome and Italy, and throughout both of those countries, just went to many of the, rural renowned historical sites in all throughout Africa. And in Rome, there's so many, just phenomenal sites. And I did a lot of live footage on that. Just to be able to walk inside of the Valley of the Kings, the Giza pyramids, those historical sites are many of the 7 wonders of the world. But one of the things I do in terms of preparation in the process of, renewing my passport, doing a lot of behind the scene preparations to get ready to go to Paris. And I tell folks, one of the things that you need is a rural travel adapter. And I'm going to show everybody what this travel adapter is. When I took my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt, I did not have one of these, and I had to get one. My guide helped me get one, and I got a couple of these travel adapters. And what these travel adapters do, you're going to need this for your cell phone, because when you try to charge your cell phone anywhere else in the world, you're not going to be able to put it into their wall socket. So what a travel adapter is, depending on where you go in the world, when you push this out, and then, there we go, push this in and out, and then there's an area on here where you can put your cord to your phone, put it in here. If I can find it, here we go. Like that. That part goes to that end. This part goes to your phone. But depending on where you are in the world, the wall socket may vary. So if you have a travel adapter, you're going to be able to stick this into the wall socket to charge your phone. See how this particular version look. Here's just the standard version. Here's one version here. As you see, those prongs are made a little differently there, depending on where you're going. I know when you go to Cairo, Egypt, their prongs look more like, that's just standard US, but you ain't gonna be able to use that nowhere when you travel abroad. But I'm glad they have it there, because a person may come from a different country and they may need to use this kind. But I know in Cairo, Egypt, their prongs look more like this. It's a little wider and thicker right here. When we went to Rome and Italy, theirs look more like this, a little bit more length to it. So depending on where you go in the world, it's going to dictate on which version you're going to need. Because if you don't have this rural travel adapter, you will not be able to charge any of your devices, your laptop, your cell phone, because when I'm traveling abroad, I do limited live footage. So when I went to Rome, Italy, a latter part of last year, I took 2 of these, and I'm glad I took 2, because for whatever reason in London airport, I left one of my travel adapters at the London airport, but because I had 2 of them, then no problem when I got to my destination, which was in Rome, because I had to go through London airport. When I finally got to my destination in Rome, I was able to charge my laptop and cell phone with my rural travel adapter. So I always tell people, when you begin to start traveling this world debt free, and I tell people, travel light. I don't carry a whole lot of stuff with me because my focus is to really be able to enjoy that guided tour, to enjoy the culture, to see many of the seven wonders of the world without being bogged down and lugged down with luggage. And when I went to Rome in Italy, I was traveling extremely light, and I still left my adapter at the London airport. But thank God I had a second one on me, because these things are very hard to find once you are abroad, because you're not going to know how to navigate and get to these places unless you go through your guide and get it. So the focus of this lecture is just the value of having this rural travel adapter in terms of the preparation that you need to do behind the scene before you go through your travel agent. I always recommend go through a reputable travel agent. You're going to save a truckload of money. Make sure your passport is updated. I've already sent off my updated passport. So that can take 6 weeks before you actually get your hands on your new passport. So all the logistics behind the scene that you need to do before you begin to get closer to traveling abroad. I tell anyone, begin to study the culture that you're going to before you get over there. Even though if you go through a reputable travel agents, they're going to give you all a lot of information that you're going to need to know and what you need to take. Also talk to your primary doctor, because depending on where you go in the world, that's going to be the driving force on what immunization you're going to need. Depending on if you're going to Cairo, Egypt, or Rome, or Italy, or Paris, or London, depending on where you're going in this world, if you're coming from a different country, your primary doctor is going to let you know specifically what type of immunizations you're going to need for that region. When I went to Cairo, Egypt, there was a few immunizations I had to get specifically for that region. When I went to Rome and Italy, I didn't really need any immunizations for that region. But then I'm getting ready to go to Paris. So you got to start communicating with your primary doctor months before you leave, before you're behind, get on that plane. So again, if you do not have a rural travel adapter, and if you're traveling abroad, you are going to need one, because if not, you will not be able to charge your devices. And also, as a reminder, make sure you mark your calendar for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another relational lecture and tips. I'm going to give tips and strategies in terms of many of the things I do behind the scenes to continue to grow my YouTube channel. January 2024, my channel earned the YouTube Silver Play Button Award. My channel's been monetized going on 3 years. August of 2024, my channel became eligible for major brand deals. And what that means is companies and corporations go into a contractual agreement with me to pay me money on a monthly basis to run their product, services, and brand across my channel. So if you want to find out many of the things that I continue to do to cultivate and push my channel into the next stratosphere, mark your calendar for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Either way it go, I'm going to be ready to get down to business. That's all I have. Simple Fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.